A brief explanation of how we got here. You are all aware, and you all were for a year and a half now we've been researching, and we knew our contract with Blackboard was ending, and so we thought it was important for us to evaluate other options, and we did all that research and basically decided it was new Blackboard or Moodle, went through that process, ran the pilot, which the idea would be a couple of faculty members and a couple classes full of students to test this out. It ended up being 35 faculty and 900 students for this past year. We're in our Moodle pilot. It went very well. It helped us solidify on this decision and Kevin's decision to go with Moodle, so we're there. And as I said, we are not cutting edge. Moodle is not anything new. It is the leading learning management system out there right now. And I say leading, most people, and a lot of that has to do with the fact that it's free. And when I say free, it's not free for us. I could talk a little bit about that. The source code for the actual software is open and it's free, and we can install it. You can grab it on your home machines and have your own little Moodle installation in your house for free. We, like Blackboard, was local, and then we bought the software and we installed it on a machine over in that server center, and we ran it and we updated it and we made sure that it was running, and when something wrong with the server, we were manually, physically in charge of the entire environment. Moodle is hosted in the cloud by Moodle Rooms, which is the leading company that provides hosting services, support services, troubleshooting, development, design, all kinds of functionality that supplements what we were getting with Blackboard, the support side, with that kind of same options should we need them for having the experts look at our system. So you guys really won't notice any difference. Most of the time, we were able to keep Blackboard up and running. Moodle shouldn't be any different. In fact, it should be more stable and faster. So, but from your understanding of free, nothing's ever free. We pay a lot of money to have that hosted, to have them take care of our infrastructure, and for them to make sure we get 100% uptime. So there's that part of it there. The environment right now is a little bit complicated because we have some Blackboard courses that are still finishing up first session summer. So we have a Blackboard learning management system still in operation on campus. We have a Moodle pilot that's in operation, and we have people teaching in the Moodle pilot this summer, and we have an entire faculty moving to the new Moodle installation. So we, for this window of time, have 3 learning management systems, and I'll explain how we think we're trying to make this as simple as possible for everyone until we consolidate to the single system in fall of 11. So fall of 11, all courses in the new system is where we are. Now, the only scary part is that Blackboard goes away July 1. We are committed, we really do, from a support standpoint, from a simplification, we want everyone on the new product, but the Moodle pilot's not going to go anywhere. So that's not necessarily a crisis situation, but we would very much like to only have to be responsible for a single learning management system, and so we are encouraging everyone to get into the new system as soon as possible. So it is available. So we will be dark. Blackboard will be gone July 1st. So we still have 40 days to gather any content. And getting content, I mean, it's a 10-minute process. So the content, bringing content out of Blackboard is no big deal. In fact, the majority of you probably already have the content on your machines or your flash drives. It's not the only location. What my main concern about Blackboard going dark is that you won't be able to go back and reference your course organization. Gosh, how did I build that learning module, and what did I add for it to describe? That's the main concern that I want to encourage you all to reference, research. Even rebuild your Moodle course is great, but know that you won't see that course after July 1. Now, one of these services that I'm having Jordan do is to go through all Blackboard courses, all 540 Blackboard courses, and capture screen images of tools. So there will be that backup. If you happen to be a person that says, you know what, never mind, I don't need that, tell Jordan and he'll mark your name off the list. That would be nice, because I don't want him doing that for courses that no one has any interest in. But so I guess I just want you to be assured that the system backup is there. Every single course, a backup file has been created. So worst case scenario, we can restore that at 50 bucks a pop, but we can restore that course somewhere down the line, so no worries about your content. The next major difference is DataTel integration, and there are levels and levels and levels of how this is very, very different from what we did in Blackboard. When you guys log in, you are going to see your previous semester courses, your spring 11 courses. If you're teaching summer, you're going to see your summer course shells, and you're going to see your fall 11 course shells. One back, current, one forward, which is what we thought might make sense, versus what we did in Blackboard, which is basically, as you taught over the years, your legacy courses just followed you along. We don't want to do that. We think that that is enough. Now, your concern now would be, wait a minute, I spent 50 hours developing that course, and come the fourth semester up, that one's gone. It's just not visible. Everything is backed up, and you can always make a request to restore that course into an existing shell. And I think when you see them and we have these ongoing conversations, that'll become more clear what that means. But don't worry, nothing goes away. Everything is backed up. In fact, right now we're saying 2 weeks after grades are due, we back up all courses with all student information. We hold on to those for 5 years just in case there's grade dispute or anything else. And at any point in time, 5 years forward, you can ask for a course to be restored into a shell. So that's what we've set up now. We have so much more flexibility and decision making and power with Moodle from an administration standpoint. So when I talk about how things are, that's just how we think they'll work out best. Your feedback is going to help us determine a lot of these choices and setups. And no, you know what, why don't you take it right, the day after grades are due, that way if I start, great, let us hear what you think. And you see all kinds of different choices that have been made. They can all be unmade and they can all be changed, and we really do want this to be a faculty-led design. What our strategy in terms of setting this up was to cut away 80% of all the Moodle bells, whistles, gizmos, cool stuff, and try to make it as intuitive and streamlined and parity between Blackboard functionality and Moodle, just to get everyone in and started and comfortable. We have tons of features that all are a click away on our administrative side to make available to faculty. And we will be doing that in a rollout, and we'll be gathering feedback and seeing what's your interest and making changes and adding things and doing new workshops. So there'll be a constant flow of adjustments and improvements on the system, and we'd love to have that led by faculty requests. But know that you are now among 37 million Moodle users. This is an open source product, which means that we have 37, they're not all developers, but certainly the users are contributing to, what would be cool in Moodle? This. It gets developed because there's no profit model to it. Open source is free code, which means that everyone contributes to the product improves, and with that many users and that many developers, if you have an original idea, it's probably not original. In fact, it's already been designed, developed, and available to us. So know that any thread of functionality that you think you might like to explore, let us know, and more than likely, somebody's already done it, and we can just decide when we want to turn it on and make it available. Lots of flexibility, lots of stability. Our entire system that you guys are going to be working in is duplicated. So on an administrative level, we have a development site that is an exact mirror of our production site. So while in Blackboard, don't touch it, it's working, don't touch it. What's the mentality? We can do anything in that dev site. Throw all kinds of crazy stuff, test it out, see if it works. We know it's safe, we get faculty feedback, put it into the production site. So it's a whole different model, and we think it's going to be a lot more responsive. Let alone the fact that we're not paying for licensing, we're paying for a lot of other things, but we actually have money left over to legitimately follow up on some faculty needs within our learning management system. So it's a very good environment on that respect. So I got off track there talking about how DataTel populated courses. But if you follow along, and if you can imagine, so DataTel is in charge of Moodle now, informing Moodle system. So what DataTel knows is reflected in Moodle in terms of which courses are currently being taught. DataTel also knows which faculty are teaching those courses, automatically enrolled you guys in your courses. It also knows which students have registered, automatically enrolling students. There is no more separate accounts. Blackboard was its own island with its own usernames and its own passwords and its own identities. Moodle is tied into Active Directory. So that means that your same username and password, the students' usernames and passwords for computer access, for email access, it's all integrated. Which means you send an email message in Moodle, it also sends it to their Outlook accounts. It's all tied together, and there's all kinds of really cool functionality that's you're going to see as a benefit from that. What I love is the fact that one of the primary responses that we got from students is having difficulty creating accounts and adding courses, and that doesn't happen anymore. So that's automatically, if they are actually registered, they're in the course and they see it. So that's pretty cool. There are also, there's functionality from the faculty side that you can add. You can manually add students and get rid of things and stuff. But the DataTel, like student unenrolls, they're out of the course. Their content stays in your course, but they no longer see it. So DataTel really populates and controls what we used to have to do on our own. Unenrolling students and resetting courses and all that stuff is over. One of the differences as well. So let's just take it for instance. It's September of 11. After summer, it's September. Great, there are my courses that I'm teaching right now. But DataTel doesn't know which courses are going to be offered yet in spring. That doesn't happen until what, October or whenever the search for classes is made available. So those courses don't appear on my account, which means if I want to work on those courses, I don't have access to them yet. So we've added 3 test courses to everyone's account that stays there permanently, and you can develop whatever you want in terms of this particular course, and when it does pop up, you just give Jordan a call and we'll have a form and whatnot, and he'll restore that work into that new shell. So that's the way we're doing it now to help you in those months, those kind of rubber months that DataTel doesn't have the courses yet and your systems don't reflect it. And that's something that we come up with. If you guys can see a better way of doing it, let us know. A bigger conversation, and I think one will develop over the years here, is is DataTel, are we organized correctly in DataTel? Should this really be 2 sections? Should these names be the same? There's a lot of that stuff, because I think we'll refine our DataTel to then it will make our Moodle environment better too. But that'll happen over time. So there are some major differences with this, but you will have the power to supplement what DataTel does automatically. And so far, so good. And we'll see, we'll make tweaks and changes, but so far it's been